Hi and welcome, and today we're going to look at, are we living in a computer simulation or a virtual reality environment? Now this is a question that has been posed quite a lot actually over the past decade in particular. It first really started gaining momentum in the 70s. I remember reading some articles even when I was in junior high school and high school in the 80s. But now through the many decades, a lot more people have jumped in. And a lot of the theories have become more matured, and there seems to be a lot of evidence that we actually may be part of a simulation. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Well, if we are to examine the progress in technology and artificial intelligence, it will be fairly obvious that the rate of development is ever increasing, like a quickening. It's reaching critical mass. Before, it used to take many years, decades, and then many years, and then several years, and a few years, and a couple of years, and then months. And now it's virtually like every hour we're making strides in new technologies or developments. That's how quickly we've progressed. And AI has really jumped to a point where I think in the next decade, or 2 decades anyway, it will be a complete rival and even surpass anything humans can do. And at that point, also virtual reality technology will be at a point where if, for example, we are knocked out and then reawakened, we could be put into a virtual reality environment by our captor, and we wouldn't be able to distinguish the difference, because it will be like our minds would be trapped, and we'd be actually like looking at things as if they really existed. But they don't. It's just a virtual reality experience. But that's where we are heading. So the question is, are we living now in a virtual reality universe? And my answer to that is almost certainly we are. We have individuality because we are part of our Creator's creation in this virtual reality. So we are a real thing, of course, just like everything around us. And in this real thing, in virtual reality environment, there are multiverses, parallel universes, and everything, and this is why it's never ending. And we are given the ability and opportunities through this development to also create and continue creating and contribute to this never-ending cycle. And I think this is what the universe actually is. But it does come from an origin, and although we cannot explain exactly what this origin is, it is the originating creator. Let's just call it the God force, as I have named it many years ago. So, in my mind, it is. Now, I'm going to show you a few clips to support this evidence. Is it something that you should be alarmed at? Not really, because you exist simply for the very fact that you are. And this existence, once again, is connected with the Creator, the original, the source point where we all come from. We are like little raindrops coming from the same cloud. And so we are all part of one collective consciousness that has been given the individuality to also act individually from this collective consciousness, but we all contribute back to it, and we're all connected to it. So we do have a collective consciousness and also an individual consciousness within this matrix, so to speak, a simulation.
There's a sort of a philosophic concept that a sufficiently advanced civilization will be able to create a simulation. Yeah, maybe you've answered this before? A simulation.
I've had so many simulation discussions, it's crazy.
Okay. Have you thought about this? And
a lot.
Are we
even in hot tubs?
To know,
so much so they had to be banned from a hot tub.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not the sexiest conversation.
Are we in? Are we in?
I think here's, in my mind, like the strongest argument for us being in a simulation, probably being in a simulation, I think is the following. That 40 years ago, we had Pong, like 2 rectangles and a dot. That was what games were. Now, 40 years later, we have photorealistic 3D simulations with millions of people playing simultaneously, and it's getting better every year. And soon we'll have virtual reality, we'll have augmented reality. If you assume any rate of improvement at all, then the games will become indistinguishable from reality. Indistinguishable.
And this is where magic comes in, because through magic and connecting with the God force and building our energies, we are actually linking up to the source, to the creator, and by that we will be executing the laws of creation and manifestation. And that's the advantage of practicing magic, linking up spiritually, is through this connection to the source. And by doing this and by developing our magical skills therein, as we progress, we are in effect securing our immortality. So getting back to the original question, is the universe and are we living in a computer simulation? Well, actually, I have to clarify that to say that not a human-made or biological entity-made computer. That would seem very unlikely. However, I do believe we are a simulation in the sense that the creator, the source, has created everything, and from that source everything became created, and we can tap into this energy as we have been doing through the study of magic. And through this we are channeling the creative code through us and infusing our own manifestations and creative capabilities that the laws of the actual universe and magic follow. So that is basically what I think to be real, and this is why we are having a lot of these theories and discussions now. In the future, though, there will be a microcosmic simulation in that, like I said before, if your consciousness gets removed temporarily, like you get knocked out and then you get reawakened, you can be trapped in a microcosmic simulation, and that could be generated by computers. And until there's a glitch, you won't know where you are unless you manage to wake up. And this is the concept that the movie Matrix kind of portrayed. But even in the Matrix, it showed that the eventual creator was beyond a computer. At least it implied it. So in case I've thoroughly confused you now, because I've gone from talking about computer simulation to virtual reality to reality, what is reality for us is in fact a virtual reality that has been created, and we are in this virtual reality, so for us it is reality. And if another virtual reality is created by some of us or us, then it will be reality for whoever and whatever we put into it, so to speak, if we create it. And this is where the confusion can arise, because it can be a never-ending situation of another creator's virtual reality becoming a reality for the subject. Okay, but what does it have to do with magic? Well, like I said, through magic, through our connecting with the source, we are then able to leverage the laws which actually transcend our comprehension. And these laws of magic give us the ability to then, through proper training and proper implementation, for us to actually be able to create even further and make things happen for us, because we would be actually following the real source rules, as opposed to the rules that a lot of people or even scientists believe to be real, but do not totally understand creation. Okay? So that's my take. So, but is it a computer simulation? Well, this becomes complex, because computers, in terms of machinery, I don't think will be able to replicate absolutely everything, only in a microcosmic, very limited capacity. And that would be more of like an illusion state, like I said in the beginning, if we're knocked out. And then through glitches, we may be able to wake up and free us. But that would be an entrapment. That is a little bit different. Okay, anyway, a bit of a brain twister teaser there. But like I said, this is why, in my opinion, learning magic and going through the spiritual process can give us this ability to tap into the source energy, and through us creating, we gain control of our lives more, and in effect we then guarantee our immortality through our creative powers, and because we are channeling and contributing to the source energy, the creator. Okay, all right, well, that's all. I'll leave it there. Agree or disagree, it's up to you. I look forward to chatting with you guys again real soon. Okay, so have a good week ahead. Cheers.